Hello everybody, Zeidoktor here, and this episode of the Typical Manga Review is going to be dedicated to My Hero Academia, Chapter 100, I think it's 17, Talk About Your Quirk. The chapter opens with Deku and Bakugo going out late at night. Everybody else is asleep, specifically Kirishima, Yayorozu, Todoroki, and Ida. And boy is Ida asleep, look at the size of that snot bubble. Incidentally, these are the four who also went after Bakugo during the day that they fought all for one. So, um, Deku's trying to point out like they're not actually supposed to be out late at night anyway. So what are they? How far? And wondering how far they're supposed to even be going. Bakugo takes him to Ground Beta, the training ground, the place where they had their first battle training, where Deku fought Bakugo and won. And Bakugo knows that this is where he lost Deku for the first time, and he's felt like crap about it ever since. You know? Deku's thinking to himself that he pretty much somehow knew that this was where this was going. And Bakugo kind of recaps things from his own perspective. A worthless, quirkless wonder like Deku somehow got to UA of all places and somehow got a quirk of his own. And we also remember Deku telling Bakugo about the fact that he got his quirk from someone else. And he's going to make it his own someday and overcome him with his own ability. You were always a little weirdo spouting cryptic crap, making that face like you were the only one in on the joke, climbing higher and higher. Since the whole Sludge thing, no, since All Might first came to town, really. Higher and higher and higher, and now you got your license, well, I don't. I mean, what the hell, seriously? Deku tries to reassure him, it's not like it reflects her actual abilities, but rather, shut up and listen, you gutter trash! Sorry. At this point, Bakugo keeps going. This whole time I felt crappy about it. It's been pissing me off. But then, after the business in Kamino, I got this idea. See, I've been thinking that you got your quirk from All Might. And you get a full page of that revelation there that Bakugo has in fact figured this out. And he explains his line of thinking. The big bad villain boss, All for One, apparently he can suck up quirks just to use or just give away. And even though it's hard to believe, he knows that one of the pussycats had hers taken and can't be a hero anymore. Then there's those freaking Nomu things with multiple quirks, so I'm pretty darn sure. He also recognizes from some of the dialogue he overheard that All Might and Boss Mu seem to know each other. So his line of thinking is that since it's possible to transfer quirks, and it wasn't the first time those two met, then there's the whole I got it from someone else thing. When you met All Might, that's when everything changed, and All Might lost his strength. And then he thinks back to when All Might pointed out the screen and declared it's your turn. You're the only one who understood him differently. All Might himself wouldn't give me a straight answer, so I'm coming to you. And Deku's remembering All Might well, it's a good thing Bakugo didn't believe you. Thought you were pulling his leg. So I can forgive you here, but don't tell another soul. And Bakugo knows that Deku is at least not denying that he's right. And Deku himself is thinking that this is he pretty much knew this was coming the moment Bakugo said he had to talk about his quirk, and realized that he deserved this for blabbing back then. So what he says out loud is, if I tell you, what then? And Bakugo's like, you also look up to All Might, ain't that right? So here I've got this punk I thought was a pebble in my path, all of a sudden getting recognized by the guy I admire. Which is why we're gonna fight. Here. Now. Deku's like, wait, what? Why? We're not even supposed to be out here to begin with. I mean, let's at least spar in a training room. There's no reason it has to be now. But Bakugo's noting that if they fight all out here, nobody can stop them. You gotta tell me just what it is about you that made All Might want to bring you this far. And if it turns out your way of looking up to him has been right all this time, that means I was doing it all wrong. And we see kind of just how differently they see All Might. For Bakugo, it's no matter how bad it looks, he always wins in the end. While Deku's thoughts are, no matter how bad things look, he always saves people with a smile. Better get ready if you don't want to get hurt. You're all about kicking now, right? Deku is still trying to wear down the fight, but Bakugo attacks. He attacks with his right hand, which Deku realizes immediately realizes is a feint. That's what he got Bakugo with before. Excuse me. So he dodges. Bakugo counters with telling him that you think too much, you know. Come at me. And Deku still wants to try and calm it down. And our final panel is a picture of All Might, so I don't know if that means he's there and witnessing this, or if it's just because he's kind of at the center of all this. And that is where the chapter ends. And there's one thing I want to bring up right away, because a lot of the things I was seeing like in discussions in a couple different places on this chapter, all of them are like comparing Bakugo to Sasuke Uchiha from Naruto. Like pretty much just declaring that this is like just his version of Sasuke versus Naruto, the author's version of that. And I'm gonna be frank, I have never seen that comparison as accurate, because first of all, you have Todoroki, who is the stoic, naturally talented, ineffectual loner who's got family issues out the ass. He's a much better fit for Sasuke. I mean, that's his fate. I mean, when he's not being a fit for Zuko. um, but like, meanwhile, we have Baku, who's a ragey asshole motivated entirely by pride and or arrogance. I mean, does no one else see the comparison to Vegeta here? I mean, seriously, just watch Dragon Ball Abridged. Hell, even like most of the stuff Vegeta does there is not out of character for Bakugo. I mean, and that's why Bakugo is like getting so upset by all this, because Deku is like the lowest of the low in his eyes, but here he is getting higher and higher because the guy he idolizes thought he was worth it. So the question is, why? And most people noted that even though like it is coming up to the typical rivals fight shonen cliche, Bakugo is actually being pretty introspective about this. I mean, fighting is pretty much where what he knows, where he goes first. It's how he understands things. But he's all still. I mean, like I said, this chapter proves he's not just some idiot either. He's smart. I mean, how much he would have figured out without Deku admitting he got the quirk from someone else, I don't know. But he still managed to piece that together with everything else he saw when he was kidnapped. So he knows that there's something on here. Like one statement I kind of caught here is when Bakugo notes that Deku becoming powerful is when All Might started becoming weaker. So I wonder if he does think that's the connection. Like that's when he started getting weaker, versus what we know to be the fact that he was already injured to begin with. Same time, he seems to at least be aware that whatever happened, All Might did of his own will. Like it was something he chose to do, because he's been with Deku this whole time. Actually, on a minor little digression, like there is that time during the tournament, the sports festival, where Ida, Uraraka, and I think it was also Chuyu and Mineta, all saw like skinny All Might in the hospital room with Deku. I wonder now if any of them will remember that, now that they know like what he actually looks like. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if anything comes out of that anytime soon. There's been a lot of other stuff going around. Nobody else has really gotten focused on this aspect. But still, I do like Baku a lot in this chapter. Like I said, he's noticing that maybe his way of looking at things has been wrong this whole time. Because to him, being a hero is about being strong. It's about winning no matter the odds. That's what he likes about All Might. And that's like even his final victory, like against all odds. Like even when he is at his absolute weakest, he still found a way to win. And we remember Deku and Baku were both cheering him on during that fight. Yeah, I do wonder what's going on here. It's like I've seen people like going along with that same Naruto and Sasuke comparison, wondering if the fight's going to end the same way, with like some adult guy getting in the way rather than there being like something conclusive about this. And I think a lot of people are hoping for something conclusive because, among other things, Bakugo made a point of starting this fight somewhere where they won't be easily interrupted. I do wonder though if All Might actually is close enough by to intervene. I mean, he's not strong enough anymore to do anything to stop them. He can't. I mean, not unless he's a little split second of All Might form he can manage now is enough. But at the same, so what I expect here is one of two things. If All Might does get involved, at least. One, he'll simply get in between them and let their heroic instincts do the rest. Like a guy who can't defend himself between two powerful guys. Are they seriously going to keep attacking? No, they are not. Not if they're going to call themselves heroes. On the second hand, and one I would like to see happen more, just because it would be almost like foreshadowing, is if you remember back during the training for the provisional exam, there was that moment where Bakugo's training accidentally knocked rubble and which almost crushed All Might, and then Deku had to save him. If that was some kind of foreshadowing, I do wonder if we're going to see something similar happen here. If Bakugo's going to do something that unwittingly puts All Might or even just somebody else in danger, and Deku has to be the one who steps in, possibly injuring himself in the process. Because that is ultimately the difference between how Bakugo and Deku see All Might. It's even highlighted in the chapter. Like to Bakugo, it's all about how strong he is, how he never loses. To Deku, it's all about how he saves people no matter what. And for All Might, it's mostly the second one. Like, actually, and some thought with All Might, it's almost like the first leads into the second, or maybe I have that backwards. But either way, the fact that the reason he never loses is because he always strives to save people no matter what. I mean, he knows there's people he wasn't able to save because he's only one man. But if he's there to save someone, he's capable of doing it. He will do it. And he'll do it with a smile, which is what Deku admires. This another little sudden dot. We were back in the first beginning of this. Like we see Deku's like little Midoriya is all excited, but watching the All Might video of him saving people. What video did Bakugo watch growing up? I mean, Deku was influenced by watching the video of him saving people. Maybe there's a video of him fighting villains that like Bakugo's like get all charged up by. Man, look at him kicking ass! Whoa! Which now gives me an image of a little tiny Bakugo blowing up computer monitors trying to emulate it. Alright. Alright. So that's where this chapter goes. I definitely want to see where this fight goes. Like both chapters this week, One Piece and Hero Academia, both like pretty damn awesome. Like pretty good stuff going on here. What I wonder now is Deku going to actually fight, or is he going to keep trying to talk Bakugo down? And could even succeed at doing so. Or, on the other hand, Deku has noted that Bakugo tends to bring out the worst in him. Or at least what he sees as the worst, like his submissive side. So he might try and overcompensate and actually fight back and get for real with this. I also wonder if at the end Bakugo will be told the full story, like if he'll be told everything that's happened about this. I mean, because Deku did say, like, alright, so if I tell you what happens then? Will that help you? I think is like one fan translation put it. So that's definitely got something to see and going in there. For now, though, I think that's a good point to call this review. I can't really think of anything else to bring up right off the top of my head. That has been my typical manga review for My Hero Academia, Chapter 117, A Talk About Your Quirk. Excuse me. Right. Just so you know, like because of like just real life stuff on my side, it won't affect the videos themselves, but I will start doing the kind of what we did before, typical manga fan, where I'd have to go by the scan legends first and then add in the details from the English version later. So be aware of that. Just because I'm gonna be busy during the times I normally record these, so starting next week again, but it won't actually affect the videos themselves. I'll still get everything out on a regular basis here, every Tuesday on 9 a.m. like clockwork. And meantime, I'm going to try and get some more game stuff out. Like I said, we've still got Undertale to work on. I've just been lazy about getting those rendered. We also started playing Overwatch last week, so we'll see how I can put up some highlights of how badly I sucked there. My first few forays. I'm going to call it something like Noob Times Gaming. Kind of go along with the whole New Times Roman thing. I don't know. Work in progress as far as the name goes, but still. In the meantime, though, until next chapter, I'll see you then, and until then, bye-bye.